Hey guys, I am back to kind of do a little follow up. I went through, rewatched the last video, and I was just like, I'm not too happy with the audio and whether or not everything was captured. But also getting a lot of feedback on it, not like the audio, but people, liking it. So I didn't want to take it down, but I also wanted to kind of go through and add to it in case some of the audio that was missed. Okay. So we're talking about getting through a breakup because, of course, getting over one is the goal. That's where you want to be. But we have to get through it. We have to get our feet dirty, get in the mud, and tread through that. We have to get through the storm, get through the rain, and get to that better side. So the 7 steps with getting through a breakup is acceptance. That means accepting that the person has left you, accepting that you choose and chose to left, the other person. So accepting that, not trying to change a person's mind, because I think when you're the one being dumped, it's a lot harder because you're at the other person's mercy. You can tell them how much you would change, how much you're going to do better, and they can still look at you and say, nope, I'm good. When you're the one that's doing the dumping, it's the same thing. Someone can come to you like, you know what, I'm sorry, I want to do better, and you can say no, and they just have to accept that. It takes two people for a relationship, and if one doesn't want it, there's no relationship. And it doesn't help you to keep throwing yourself out there, to keep saying how much you love them, to keep saying how much you want to work on it and how much you can change and how much you're meant to be and all of that. That's not going to change a person's mind. So accept it. Deleting, next one, them deleting them from your phone, deleting previous messages, deleting photos. Yes, deleting photos. um, just going through and doing that, because it'll get hard, and you don't want to keep having that as a reminder, and you don't want to keep punishing yourself by that way. And you're tempted to text them, you're tempted to say, if it's a their favorite sport is going on and their team is playing, like, congratulations for y'all win, you're tempted to do things like that, and innocent enough. But you can't get through it if you're still reaching out. You can't get through it if you're still trying to interact. So delete that. Delete the photos so you don't have those nights where you want to go back and look and reminisce. Delete that. Delete them from your social, because you don't need to be keeping up with their lives and what they're doing and who they're with, and if that person they told you not to worry about is the person you should have worried about, because as soon as y'all break up or whatever, that's who they're with, then okay. But you don't want to see all of that. And there's no point. There's no point in keeping up with each other's lives, because once you decide to be done, you need to be done. Now, some people can be friends with their exes, and I know I've heard of that. I'm not one, but I've heard of that, and that's fine. But you need to do so after giving yourself time to get over the breakup, to the point to you can operate in a friend position where you're no longer jealous, when you no longer care who they're with or what they're doing, and you coming from a place of friendship and not from a place of being in love. That's when you can get to that point. But until then, just go ahead and just, yeah, delete that. Delete them from your home. This means all your favorite stuffed animals, your hoodie that she used to wear, that t-shirt he let you borrow, all of that needs to go. You have to trash it. You have to let go of that, because you don't need to hold on to that energy and the spirits that's tied to those things. That means gifts as well. And it can be hard, and you may take time to get to this point, but you need to trash it. Trash everything that they bought for you, everything you bought with them in mind, because they like to see you in certain things, so you bought it. If that's still your style, then by all means keep it. But if it's tied to an event, or it's tied to a date, or it's tied to something that you guys went to and all of that, trash it, because you don't need to see that every time you see that object. Just go through and do that. Get yourself like 2 3 bags, however many trash bags you need, and just go ahead and put that in a dumpster and relieve yourself of that, and relieve yourself, no, relief, what was that, relieve yourself of that energy and of that spirit that's on these things. Next, take time away. Take time away. If you're on social media, take time away from social media, because you're going to want to search, you're going to want to cyber stalk, you're going to want to see what they're doing. But also, people tend to post things and they get too emotional in the things that they post, and people nosy. They want to know what's going on, why you posting that, why you say that. You don't want people in your business. So kind of take time away from that. And also, you don't want to put out a false narrative. You don't want to put out that you're super happy when you know you're not happy. You don't want to put out that you're not bothered when you're bothered. Like, be true to your emotions. So if you're not in that place, take time away. Write down how you feel. Write down things you want to say. Don't text them good morning. Don't send them emails. Don't be the one to send long emails like, hey, just thought about this and I just want to say these last words. No, write that down. Write down good morning. Write down, I hope your day goes well. Write down, I'm still hurting. Write down, I wish we could work it out. Write down, I'm still angry, or I sorry that I left you, or I'm sorry you left me. Write those things down. It's not something that they need to see. It's just something for your own mental. So write it out. Next, work on your flaws and your weaknesses. I know nobody needs this step because we're all perfect, but work on any flaws that you have during this time before you move on to the next relationship. Work that out. And speaking of moving on to the next relationship, give yourself time in between. Give yourself time in between. They say it should be a month for every year that you've been together. So if you were together for 5 years, give yourself 5 months. It's so easy to want to go on to the next person, but when people that move on quickly to the next person is because they're seeking that validation. They're seeking to validate everything that their ex said about them was wrong. She said I don't listen. She said I don't care. Well, guess what? This new girl thinks I listen a lot. This new girl thinks I care a lot. Or he said I'm not nurturing. He said I don't cook that much. Well, this new guy, he thinks I'm always caring for him. He loves when I cook every night. These things, because you're looking for that validation from someone else to say that the things that your ex said about you was wrong. And the thing with seeking validation from someone else didn't go through the trenches of the relationship before it got to the point before it broke. So it's easy for them to say, you're not this person, you're not this way, that'll never be you, because they didn't go through the relationship and everything that you guys went through. They coming out at the end and seeing you at that point. So their opinion is a little bit different than everything you went through. So of course they're going to validate you. Of course, they're going to make you feel good. Of course, they're going to make it feel like it was all your ex's fault. You did nothing wrong. And that's good. Like, that is a very, trust me, okay? Because I moved on quickly after another relationship. We'll do a story time. I'll tell you that part. But it felt good to have that validation. But at the same time, it was kind of an empty validation, because you're telling me this thing about myself, but you didn't see me during these years, or you didn't go through the ups and downs with me like this person did. So you're seeing my best, and of course you appreciate it, but it's more appreciated when you've seen what I came through and see where I am now, then it means more than you just coming at the end product. You know how it is, where they said, people, once they get big and famous, they're not with the person they started off with. So the person they end up with, yes, they get to see all of this wonderful things in the person that you are and all that you accomplish. But the person that was there in the beginning, that was, quote, in the gym with you, they don't get to see that end product. So what they went through can't be compared to the story of the person there now, if that makes sense. So don't move on quickly. Give yourself time. Give yourself those months to get yourself together. Like I said, it's so easy to move on, but you have to take that time. You have to reflect and get into a better place of where you want to be, so that way all of those things don't come up. And you want to be sure that you are completely over it. Not done, because again, that's our goal, but that you're completely over it, which again, over it is our goal too. So we want to be over it and we want to be done. But when in the middle of going through, we want to go through. The hardest thing to do is to go through. But you want to make sure that you go through that process and that you did process it and you are in a better place. Because again, someone that comes in and they pick you up, then it's going to be wonderful. But then it also brings on that whole new set of problems, because now you have another person you got to deal with. And you're still hurting from the last thing. Yeah, you left her. Yeah, you left him. Yeah, they dumped you, but you still like you're still hurting, and it's not fair to the next person to drag into those feelings, to drag in those insecurities, to drag in those anger issues, to drag in all of these things into that relationship, which will happen. So give yourself time, okay? Work on everything you wanted to work on. If they said you couldn't cook, take your cooking lessons. So that way, when you, baby, when you get back out there, okay, whipping it up, pointed out about you, the things you want to work on, okay? So work on that. Um, Radiate what you want to attract. You can't walk around like this and expect to attract wonderfulness, expect to attract purity and positive when you walk on around looking that way. So radiate what you want to attract. If you want positive, put a positive vibe before you step outside. Have that there. And and people say fake it till you make it. Don't. Fight through it until you make it. Push through until you make it. Never be fake. Never be fake. If you're not in a joyous moment, don't fake like you're joyous, but put some effort into the joy. Okay? Start with happy. And last, smile. Okay, put that out there, smile, because again, you want to attract. Our goal is to be over it, but for right now, we are going through it and we're going to make it. Okay, that's the attitude you're going to have. You have to have the attitude, we're going to make it. I'm going to make it. I'm going to get through this. And guess what? Only up from here.